of the Board of Police Commissioners to order. We'll do a roll call of commissioners. Commissioner Martinez, you're muted, but I see that you're here. And Commissioner Ferguson.
Commissioner, you were accidentally muted, sir. Sorry.
Maybe because you got muted. I mean, because look, everybody else shows. No.
Okay.
Oh, there.
We have a quorum. The first item up would be the acceptance of the minutes of the regular board meeting that was held on June 17th. Any of the commissioners have any questions or comments, additions, subtractions? Hearing none, entertain a motion to accept those minutes.
Moved.
It's been moved by Commissioner Lyons. Is there a second?
Second.
And seconded by Commissioner Martinez. All those in favor of accepting the minutes from June 17th signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? Okay, those minutes are accepted. For the record, Commissioner Farrow is with us as well, along with Commissioner Williams. So the next item of business would be the report of the Chief of Police. Chief Porter, good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
Doing fine, Chief.
Good, good. How's everyone doing?
Doing great.
Good, good.
Good, Chief.
Yeah, be sure to stay hydrated, right? It's hot out. We
Oh,
did our cooling centers, so stay hydrated. A couple of things I wanted to highlight really quickly. Some really good news is, first and foremost, our second quarter stats, our crime statistics for the second quarter. So as compared to this time last year, our overall crime statistics are down nearly 23%, and those are part one crimes. Our homicides are down 60%. Our sex assault cases are down 30%. Our robberies are down nearly 47%. Our aggravated assaults are down nearly 28%. Our burglaries are down nearly 23%. And our motor vehicle thefts are down nearly 10%, 9.76%. So as you can see, our part one crimes, we're doing, knock on wood, I don't want to jinx us, but we're doing good with our part one crime reduction. And I think that a lot of that is due in large part, mostly it's due in large part is to our wonderful police officers, the hard work that they're doing, and as well as our investigators. And we're being really strategic in how we target specific areas. We've instituted a summer operations program. I'll pull it up. I wish I could share my screen, but I don't know how to do that stuff. But it's called Operation Summer Breeze. And we've instituted it. And it's a variety of different things. It requires targeted policing. It involves walking details, motor vehicle stops, our narcotics and vice units, all targeting specific areas. So it's online if you'd like to see it. But I think these are contributing factors to a lot of the crime reduction, as well as our police saturation in certain areas where we not necessarily a spike in crime, but where we have like a lot of activities going on, like downtown and things like that. So we've really been able to focus, and I think we're starting to pay dividends. A big part of that has to do with also our increasing in staff. Our levels are up. I'm sure I've mentioned before, but in a year and a half, the mayor's commitment of 100 police officers in a year, we didn't do it in a year, but in a year and a half, we surpassed that. We're probably at 100 plus 105 or so, maybe 10 police officers that we've hired. And that's really starting to pay dividends because we have those extra forces where we've added to our traffic division. We've added to our narcotics and vice division. We've promoted sergeants. We're going to be promoting 3 more sergeants shortly. We've already made a request in for a detective's test. So as you can see, we're growing the department, and we're going to continue to grow the department, but we have to be smart in how we grow the department. So we're not going to grow from top down. We're going to grow from bottom up. So as we get new officers, then we'll grow all the other divisions as well as the other ranks. So we're really excited about that. I'm not sure if the class started before the last meeting, but we started a class last month of 27 recruits are in the police academy now. So they've been training for about 5 weeks. So that's gone fairly well so far. So really excited about that. But as we talk about our Part 1 crime statistics, it doesn't leave my mind of the thought that ultimately it's how people feel. And if our communities don't feel safe, then our crime statistics, our numbers really are just numbers. And the most important thing is how people feel. But I do see, and I've gotten a lot of feedback from community meetings that there is a lot more activity going on in Bridgeport. People are coming to Bridgeport. There's a lot more vibrancy and things are going on in Bridgeport. So we're attracting a lot of people. But it's not lost on me that where we're seeing reductions in our Part 1 crimes, and I'm very proud of that, there are quality of life issues that we are starting to address more, whether it be vagrancy, noise complaints, speeding, things like that. So we're trying to shift our focus some degree to focus on a lot of the Part 1 crimes. So a couple things that we've done recently, we've partnered with the health department and the fire department, and we're going to be doing some outreach in some of our neighborhoods where we see open air individuals who are suffering from drug addiction. So there's several locations that we've identified, and these teams are going to be going out to help provide those individuals some services, whether it be food and drug counseling and things like that. So I think that's going to help in some of these areas where we see vagrancy taking place. So we are going to be doing that initiative very, very, very soon. Also want to highlight something I'm really proud of is that the Bridgeport Police Department, we've completed all of the requirements for Tier 2 and Tier 3 post accreditation by the Connecticut State Police Post Academy. So we've completed all the requirements, and in September I'll be going in front of the Post Council, and I am confident that since we've completed everything, we will be given Tier 2, Tier 3 post accreditation status. It's something that all departments are required to do before 2026, and so we've done it, which means that and Lieutenant Lyons is on this call. She played a big role in that as well, which means our department is accredited. And so our next step is getting federal accreditation, which is primarily just submitting what we did with the state, and we'll get federal accreditation as well as a police department. So I'm really, really proud of that we can say that the Bridgeport Police Department is an accredited police department in the state of Connecticut, and we soon will be accredited by the federal government as well. But with that, I'll take any questions that you might have. Instead of just me doing the talking, I'd like to hear if anything that you have for me.
Any of the commissioners have questions for the chief?
No, I just, hey, Chief, how are you doing today?
Good.
I saw that we are getting new police vehicles out here. I see that they have Dodge Durangos now.
Yeah, we've had those for a little while now, but the budget has given us the additional police vehicles to purchase, so we've bought some new vehicles. So we do have the Dodge Durangos. So yes, we do have those out. Thank you.
No, that looks good, actually. I just wanted to comment on those cars. They look beautiful.
Yeah. Something I also wanted to mention: August 7th will be our award ceremony. It'll be at 6 o'clock in front of police headquarters at the police memorial. You all are invited. I hope you do attend.
We'll be there.
What time is that again, Chief?
6 o'clock.
6 p.m. August 7th.
Yeah, August 7th.
Yeah.
It's a Thursday night. We'll have a food truck, so you'll be able to get some hot dogs or hamburgers.
Yeah, no, those are good events, and again, it gives us an opportunity to recognize, the hard work and the good work that a great number of your officers are doing.
Yeah.
It's nothing but good stuff.
Yeah. So we expect, I think there's 26 officers will be recognized. We have some our retirees who we call our legends. There's like 4, I believe, who's going to be recognized, and also a couple of community organizations that we're also going to recognize as well at that.
Yeah, on our agenda this evening, the board will be voting on approving the award nominees, and I'm sure that will, number one, that'll take place, and Commissioner Lyons Lieutenant Lyons has forwarded us all the individual cases where those officers being being recognized.
Okay.
So we're going to get to that this evening. And the 27 new recruits, when are we looking at as far as a graduation for them and seeing them out on the street?
So usually about 6 months. They started in June, so I say graduation will probably be around November, December, and they'll be on the streets right away. They'll be in the field training program for 3 months, and then so early next year they'll be on their own, sometime early next year.
Great. And one last comment that I would like to make, and I'd like to commend your guys, Chief, for a quality of life issue. And we've had this issue for quite some time. And the tractor trailers that are left on city streets that your guys have gotten a handle on, and that number has dwindled drastically. And I know they're still working on it, but kudos to that that effort, those guys.
And we have to stay on top of that. Obviously, that can come and go, so we need to stay diligent and stay on top of that. But yeah, we did make some strides, and we have to continue to be aware of that.
Okay. Any other questions for the chief?
No question. Dan, can you see me? Am I on?
Yes.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, Chief.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you,
The
Chief.
chief mentioned to me that he'll be staying on the call. We have a group that we'll be hearing from shortly, a bunch of folks from Seaside Village. So thanks, Chief, for doing that as well. So we'll move on. We have nothing from the Union. Internal Affairs report, I believe, it would be next month, and nothing to add from the department clerk, Lieutenant.
Sir, nothing for me, but Lieutenant Rosem is on this call. I'm not sure if he was prepared.
Oh, he is. Oh,
How are you, Commissioner? How's everything?
Lieutenant, how are you? I apologize. Didn't see you on the call.
He sent his report.
I did send the report. I know you have a heavy agenda. If you wanted to table me, otherwise I could go through this.
No. My apologies that I missed it. Obviously, the other commissioners did not, but please go right ahead.
Yeah, I'll be brief. Like I said, I emailed out the report. If any of the commissioners didn't receive it, please just email me. I'll get it to you. But we're up to 199 investigations on the year, 66 of which are citizens' complaints. A slight increase from last year. At this point, we were at 54, but last year we were at basically at an all-time low we saw from citizens' complaints. So we're on par from where we were in 2022 and 2023. As the chief stated, we have an academy class of 27. So we completed those 67 background investigations about a month and a half, 2 months ago. So we're moving on to the fire department background investigations. Our deadline to complete those are going to be August 4th. So Chief Lance Edwards will have his academy class soon thereafter. As far as chief's internal investigations, we have 12 on the year. 2 are harassment type investigations, which I'm obligated to report to the board on. Yeah, moving forward, we're still, we have 5 investigators, 1 detective, 4 sergeants. And as always, we're just trying to close out as many cases as we can. So we closed out about 200 investigations on the year. If there's any specific questions on any cases we have that you may know of, I'd be happy to speak about in an executive session. But we are all caught up to date on Barrows hearings. We did 8 of them on the year. So we're caught up, nothing pending. And there, as far as I'm concerned, there's no pending second step hearings that are forthcoming. So, I mean, we're looking pretty good. But again, if there's any specific questions, I'd be happy to take them.
Does anybody have any questions for the lieutenant?
Lieutenant,
Commissioner
Based-
Williams.
yes, based upon the numbers, is that due to the staffing? Because I know we were short-staffed last year and the increasing in staff. Are you up to quota right now?
Yeah, it could be the staffing. One thing we're seeing is our officers are out there, they're being proactive. And when we're being proactive, we have officers on FTO. That leads to more complaints, just more public contact. Yeah. But we're constantly evaluating. We have early interventions. If we see a certain officer getting multiple complaints, if they get 3 within 6 months, we'll reach out to the commander of his division and just keep an extra eye on them. So we're constantly monitoring. But I do believe it is to just the proactiveness of the field training officers going out there, learning the job, heavy motor vehicle. As you were discussing, you also have, they're taking speeding enforcement, the DUI grants they're running. So that is what we're noticing. It could just be the pure police contact that we're having.
And if I could just add, Commissioner Williams, that so we have a very young police force now. So when you get young police officers, we tend to see sometimes an increase in complaints. But I think the vast majority of our citizens' complaints are mainly like conduct, like maybe attitude. There's not any issues of not a large number of excessive force complaints or Fourth Amendment violations. These are generally more in the line of how do you talk to people and things like that. And that's something that we constantly work on. And as we add more supervisors, more sergeants, we'll get more supervision, and they'll be able to monitor and correct those type of behaviors more and more.
Thank you.
Any other questions regarding internal affairs?
Hey, Dan.
Yes, sir.
Off subject, and I apologize, to the internal affairs, but I did want to mention to the chief that I stopped by the police station today, and I was really impressed with the lobby. I know that we had spoken about this in the past, maybe since I've been on the board, about making it more user-friendly, more police officers in uniform and looking for and I happened to stop in today. There was an officer there. He looked great. The place looked good. It's the second time maybe in the last 3 months I've been there, and both times I've been really proud to come in there and see what it looked like compared to what it was 2 years ago, 3 years ago. I really wanted to commend you on that.
Oh, thank you. That's our building support staff, our maintenance guys. They do a good job at keeping it clean.
But the officer,
the officer's really, yeah. If it was during the day, I know the officer there, and he's doing a great job. His name is Officer Wally Franco. And, yeah, that's him. And he's very attentive. You know, that front-facing person is the first person that people meet, so that goes a long way. And he's been doing a good job at like being really personable and helping people. So one of the things I do want to mention as it relates to the building, so we have narrowed it down, the architectural firms, to do a feasibility study of a new police station. So that process is moving along too. So even though our new building we keep it clean, it was built in 1966. So.
Yeah, no, I know. But I wanted to commend you on what you've done with the front office and front welcoming thing. It looks great.
Yeah, thank you, Commissioner Diaz.
Okay, thank you. Moving on, first item under new business, Mark. And Mark, please pronounce your last name for me. I see Berlinger here and Berlingeri on the screen.
It's Berlingeri, yeah, thank you.
Berlingeri, thank you. We have Mark Berlingeri as a board member of the Seaside Village Board. Wanted to discuss the increase of incidents and suspicious activity on Ironston Avenue across from Seaside Village. There is a slew of people that Mark has bought with him this evening, and Mark is the point person. I had an opportunity to speak with him last week directly, and also the chief and I spoke a little bit on the matter as well. But with that, commissioners, I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Berlingeri. Mark, you have the floor.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. So, and thank you to the police commissioner and all the board members here. So my name is Mark Berlingeri. I'm on the Seaside Co-op board. I'm a recent member. We have a number of people here from the board and the community. So really just showing our signs of support for this initiative. And I just want to read a brief statement here. Hopefully it'll cover the points or in an organized fashion. So we're here to respectfully request your urgent attention and action regarding the pressing need that we see to enhance police patrols and overall police presence in our community. Many of our residents have been here for several years, and in recent times, they've seen a lot of a big increase, essentially, in this activity across the way on Ironston. And we realize there are many, changes in the community over the last several years. with the Marina Village being removed. And I don't want to guess about who's there and who's not there, but it seems to be a lot of the folks from there are using this as a place to congregate. And we just feel like it can be overwhelming at times, right? I mean, we had the Puerto Rican Day Parade this weekend. We understand when there's events, it gets even more more active. But this is like this on a regular basis as well. And I've sent several pictures over. Hopefully you've been able to get them as well. So the current situation there, basically, to get back to the point here, we have a vibrant community here with immense potential. Any other lakeside, any other sound side community would have restaurants and activities and other things that would help the commercial aspects of the community as well. We know what's going on at Steel Point. We know what's going on in Black Rock. So what we need to do is somehow create that kind of an environment here. And I think some of it is probably impacted by the fact that any investor coming to this community, potentially see this situation and it would turn them off, basically, just to be frank. So what we've observed, again, I've taken notes from our board meeting, and we've seen increase in suspicious behavior over recent months that we've noticed. Obviously, we're not going into the community. We don't want to disturb them, etc. But there's a lot of loitering, minor disturbances. Food trucks show up randomly, and all of a sudden, they have a party out there. The behavior is, while sometimes innocuous, it creates an atmosphere of unease and vulnerability within the community. There's a perception of reduced safety, the visible lack of consistent police presence, which has been proving recently. I don't know if it's because we're talking, Dan, but that is appreciated. But there is still a pervasive feeling of insecurity among residents. Parents hesitant to let their children play outdoors. Individuals feel less safe walking alone, especially after dark. We have had a couple of incidents within the village, in fact, where people have been out walking in the evening, walking their dog, and there were people just wandering around, potentially following them, and there were 911 calls put in. So it's not. I'm not just guessing at this. It's people's real concern. There's an impact on accessibility and quality of life. Current environment makes our neighborhood less accessible and enjoyable for local residents. Simple activities like visiting local parks, walking to shops, even sitting on front porches are often accompanied by a sense of caution. There's a hindrance of economic development, as I mentioned. Critical concern and is the direct negative impact on our community's economic prospects. We firmly believe that the current level of suspicious behavior and perception of insecurity are significant deterrents to attracting new business and investments on Iranistan Avenue. Businesses seek safe and stable environments to thrive, and without this, our community will struggle to achieve its full economic potential. So what our proposal is to increase police presence with proactive patrols. I know Dan and I spoke about a couple of things that may have gone on in other parts of the city that we could potentially use here. But whether, if this is possible, and I realize you're bringing many new patrolmen on board, which we definitely appreciate, but we know that takes time as well. So, but things like increased foot and vehicle patrol, more frequent visible presence of uniformed officers, both on foot and in patrol, throughout the area of the South End, especially in the Seaside Village area. Community policing initiatives, encouraging officers to engage. As you talked about quality of life, Chief, that's a great endeavor for sure. We always want the primary safety tier crimes obviously abated, but also quality of life is helpful. This will foster trust and allow for better intelligence gathering, build stronger partnerships between police and community. Targeted patrols in hotspot areas, identifying and focusing on additional resources on specific areas known for higher incidences, enhanced visibility, ensuring vehicles are regularly seen, accessible, and will act as a deterrent to illicit activities. And the benefits that we expect out of this is improved public safety, a reduction of suspicious crime behavior, increased residential confidence, so we'll feel more secure in the area, enhanced accessibility, welcoming access. between, I don't know if you know the strip here, but we have two stores and then we have a vacant store in the middle, you know. Frankly, I'm investigating with my board other ways to get economic development in this area. But the precursor to that is going to be cleaning up the space a bit, obviously. So that's one of the reasons why we don't want to put the cart before the horse, but we would like to try to encourage that type of development there. And of course, we'll get stronger community and police relations with proactive engagement, building trust, collaboration, and which is essential to long-term safety and well-being. So we urge the Police Commissioners Board and the Commissioner here to acknowledge the concerns of Seaside residents, prioritize the allocation of additional resources into the neighborhood, and work collaboratively with our community to implement and monitor the effectiveness of these enhanced patrols and activities. We believe by working together, we can transform Seaside Village and the South End into an even safer, more vibrant, and economically thriving community for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Any of the commissioners have any questions or comments?
Dan, I'd like to address it. I've lived here all my life, Dan. I've seen these pictures. I know this place. I know the people in the pictures. I've watched them grow up. I know they grew up right around there. I've known Seaside Village to be a safe place. I know that that place in the center that is called the store was a club where there was a murder, I want to say maybe about 6 or 7 years ago, and the store has not been open since. From rumor, says there may be blood still in there.
Yes.
So we might want to go in there and clean that up. But I'm going to suggest to Mr. Butler and Jerry that he goes over there and meets some of them guys. Them guys are really good guys. I don't know if you've seen the behind that building, there's a playground.
Right.
Them guys built that playground. Them same people that you have in this picture. Same guys. I know all of them. They're all Jamaican. They're all from the area. They grew up either in Marina or on the other side of it almost hurts my feelings to see that we're calling them a threat or making it feel like that's an innocuous group. I'd be glad to take you over and introduce you to them and see if you can work out something with them. Guys are safe. I don't know if you've seen them on late nights, them same guys sweeping up that little area right there.
Right.
I come by and I see them with a broom sweeping. See them doing a lot. One of them, I think every child in the neighborhood is like he's a godfather to them. So, I mean, I grew up here. And I understand your concerns. I don't know how long you've been in Bridgeport. So I understand your concerns coming in and under perception, seeing that and feeling a certain way. When Marina Apartments were there, that was all conducive to everything. People were outside. It was a nice area. Marina was one of the safer projects in Bridgeport. So, yeah, people are going to be on the street. It's hot. I mean, if you guys have a board and want to come up with a reason to use that building that's conducive to the neighborhood all around, I think that would be a welcome development. It'd be a good way for you guys to come together and find out how great these other guys are.
Yeah.
Just a comment.
If I may just say, I grew up in the Bronx, you know, and so I'm not unfamiliar, you know, with people hanging out. You know, it's there are other liquor stores in the area that just within a block or two of this location, and there's no huge party going on outside all the time. So I think now, you know, with that said, I understand there's the dynamic, right, of the community here and how it's changed. But I think also, you know, as the development begins to happen again with, you know, replacing Marina Village, we need to make sure that there are community spaces there for these people to come to and get to be with each other. I mean, we have a huge park down here.
I'd agree with you. Now that's
you know, it's beyond the scope of the police, what the police could do. But you know, I feel like, you know, I think the main players that you're probably recognizing there are wonderful people, But I think there's another element in here that is slipping in. And when those guys leave, when the friendlies leave, these other folks are still there, and the music's loud, the place is a mess. The guys do his best. It's a shame. I've been in the liquor store myself. I go in there, and I feel bad, but he probably feels like not to judge or anything. And he's probably at a kind of a tough spot himself because he's got business, and he doesn't want to chase that away. I think we had a couple of comments. Yeah, there's I think Judy's been in Bridgeport all her life, and it's not nice. So anyway.
No, I understand what your final what you're trying to get to. Just want you to understand that when I see these pictures, it hurts my feelings.
And I agree also because I grew up on the South End as well. Marina Village, when we have to look at Marina Village and Marina Apartments, a lot of folks have to understand they want to keep that legacy alive. Even in Marina Apartments, which is on the other side, where the arena is, we still gather over there, because that's where we grew up,
Sure.
gather there and as a legacy and remembering those things. I hear you, and I understand that there may be some other individuals that are there for different reasons, but when we look at it, we can't lump all of them in one,
Agreed.
package.
Agreed.
And so I think, again, excuse the language that folks use, but to some people, that is all that they have to remember, when they grew up. I grew up there. And when you talk about, living in the inner city, people want to say that, oh, we're a product of our environment, but we can't be a product of something that's no longer there.
Right.
So we hang tight to some of the memories, and we do hang out in those areas. Yeah, we do gather, and we do socialize. And where it is where that space is. And that's the only space available for them, right? You might say, oh, go to the park, right? And then you'll have that same problem at the park. So where they're, going, and again, if I look at it this way, if there are issues and situations going on, there should be more volatile calls to the police department. That area should be a hot spot, and it's not a hot spot. So we understand your concerns and it flowing over, because everything does flow over into other areas. We're not saying that it's contained in one area. So we do say that, we can admit that things may flow over, but if it comes to a point and it does, come to that emergency type of situation, I also was offended because I grew up on the South End. I grew up on the South End all my life, and I've been here in Bridgeport. So when I see those pictures, I didn't really see much, what you all see on a day-to-day basis, right? You see it more because you're there. What you guys share with us is more or less people gathering together, fellowshipping and having a drink or two or whatever, playing cards. And that's what we used to do growing up. That's just the nature of that neighborhood,
So if I could add, I don't have a raise your hand button, so I'm sorry, I can't.
That's right. I usually don't recognize them anyway, Chief. My apologies to Commissioner Williams, but please go right ahead, Chief.
I just wanted to add that. So, I appreciate Mr. Berlinger's concerns, and we take those serious. As you know, I've sent Assistant Chief Grech attended a meeting with you guys, and I've been to meetings as well at Seaside Village. And I think that as both commissioners have indicated here, statistically wise, that area is not a hotspot. Like I checked the crime statistics in that area. I don't have like numbers where we're getting a tremendous amount of calls regarding activity in that area. But I understand, like Commissioner Williams mentioned, there is a bit of a legacy that takes place across the street at that location. And, we've sent officers there before, and the owner has not expressed any concerns with those individuals. But one of the things I want to suggest is, like, obviously we'll increase police patrols like we have done already. It maybe perhaps even the police department, we could facilitate if there needs to be a conversation between the commissioners group that he knows, the people he recognized, and people from Seaside Village to just foster some communication, some open dialogue. So oftentimes, once you get to know people, you tend to feel less concerned about them. And that might be something. And I will say, so one of the things that we see on the Randiston Avenue, so Randiston Avenue has been a focus because of Commissioner Roach brought your concerns to me, and we've known about these concerns for a while. But I would say from State Street to Atlantic Street, that corridor is something that we focus on, primarily closer to State Street, with activity over there. I don't know if that's spilling down towards your area, but that is something that we have begun to focus on. You will see more police presence in that area. Obviously, we have to base our resources based on the call volumes and the calls for service and crime statistics, but we will increase our presence in that area. But yeah, I think what would be important is if some type of a dialogue between those individuals, who hang out over there, and individuals from the community at Seaside Village to just kind of get to know one another, because that's one of the traditions that takes place in Bridgeport, where these individuals do hang out in these locations. And I don't believe, and I could be wrong, I don't believe there are no loitering signs up there. I could check. Maybe you've noticed them, Mr. Berlinger. I don't even think that the store owner.
I don't, look, I don't see speed limit signs near here.
This would be on his property.
I don't see loitering. I mean, we have some loitering signs, no loitering signs across the street, I think, but not on that
on his
side.
Property. On his property, are there no loitering? Because he would have to.
I don't think so.
I
mean, again, it's. I think it's the building in between.
Yeah, the old
Lincoln's. I mean, I used to do in rem proceedings for the city of New York 100 years ago. In my early career. So I've been to neighborhoods that have had blight and stuff. And this I think it ends up if you had a store there, if you had active business there, I think it would naturally, people would then migrate to the side streets. It'd break up a little bit. You know what I mean?
I think that's a good point you make. So, and that's something that probably is what's creating the perception, is that blighted building. Because I'm a study of New York City, right? The broken windows theory. So if there's a blighted building there, that kind of causes decay and it causes concern. So maybe we could get together and work with zoning, see who owns that property. And I remember years ago, I've been on many years when we were doing some real work in that location, at that particular location. But maybe if we could do something on that building, that might alleviate some of the concerns as well.
Sure.
Could I cut in? My name is John Belinsky. I'm on the board with Seaside Village. And my concern is they're drinking in between both of the buildings. I mean, that's not a bar. In between the buildings are not a bar. And why are they allowed to drink there? Open containers and have food trucks and a grill.
So open air drinking outside like that in bottles, that's not something that's allowed in the city of Bridgeport. In terms of grills and things like that nature, if that's private property, that's something that they would be able to do. But I can look into any open air drinking.
It's actually owned by the package store, and I don't know if that vacant building there has any part of that parking lot. When it was established years ago. I don't know if that's where their boundary lines are.
Yeah, no, I understand. Well, we could talk to the package store owner, which I suspect he probably is okay with it, but I could check with him to see if that's an issue. But any open air drinking, that's something that we could, we would be able to address.
And if not just, it's one thing, having a group of guys just hanging out on a summer evening. If it becomes an excessive noise issue, that's something that the department, I'm sure, could address. Sure. If there's anything above that in terms of criminal activity, maybe aside from the regulars, if there's any drug dealing going on or anything like that's something obviously that could be addressed.
Yeah, I mean, some of the residents have noticed that they're using the back of that parking lot as a restroom. And I've seen City of Bridgeport sanitation folks in that area. I don't know what they're doing there, but because there is private carting in there. But where are they going to go? There's no real so for all that, I know that they need to get together and they need a place for community. Commissioner Williams, I understand that, but they don't have the facilities there to support that, and they need that. That's something I would advocate for more, than being trying to penalize anybody. I think that there is economic benefit to the community here that would help us to do a lot more for other people in the community as well, as opposed to just this group that just seems to have sequestered this this one street on their own. And that's really all I'm trying to get to here.
No, I agree. I agree, because when we were growing up, we did have community centers. The South End did have a center, and where we, were able to go and, have those activities and things like that. So I do agree with you when you say, and again, I understand it. I get it. Each housing, project has their own reunions, and it's, we utilize the, I think we've been going to both Seaside and Bearsley to do the reunions, but before that, we did, utilize little areas before they put the fencing up at Marina Village, things like that, and gatherings. So, I'm not saying that's what's happening there, but I know they do, even at the, there's a liquor store on Park Avenue. A lot of, the guys that I know, they meet there, and they fellowship over there. So it's just, it's kind of hard when you have a community that you've grown up and it's no longer there. You want to keep that memory alive. And, for me, it's not the other activities. It's just getting together and seeing folks that you used to grow up with, at that, space. So it's just that part is erased,
I just wanted to point out something quickly. Someone, one of the Seaside Village folks, I believe Judy, posted a note when we were talking about the no loitering sign. She said, saying that there were signs in place that they had been ripped down or taken down.
Yeah, so I can look at that, Commissioner. I can look into that, and that will, so we can work with the owner and see if that's something he wants to put up. So what I'd like to do, Mark, if you want, so we could schedule something. You can contact me. We could do something in the evening where I can come out with some of my officers. We could take a walk around. We can get some dialogue with the individuals. I could even do that beforehand. Maybe with the commissioners, just to kind of get to know them, and we could create some conversation.
Sure.
Yeah, hi, Commissioner Cruz. This is Councilman Cruz.
Good evening, Councilman Cruz.
Good evening. I got my colleague, Councilwoman Denise Taylor Moore on the phone, speakerphone. She tried to log in. She had a hard time, but she would like to say something, if you don't mind, sir.
Please.
Denise, go ahead.
Yes, hi, good evening.
Can you hear?
Hi.
Go ahead,
Can
Denise.
you hear me? Good evening, everyone. I just want to say, I understand everything in regards to people engaging, laundering, or whatever, but this is not something that is like that. I lived over there for 30-something years. My son was raised over there, and he's 55 years old. My grandparents raised him there. The people that are out there are decent human beings, work for the housing authority, work for the city, work for the school system, are retired this, retired that. They're not out there hanging. That picture there, that is not an everyday picture. That is not an everyday picture. That was for a vet, or that was for the fireworks, or that was for the 4th of July. That was for something. People are not out there on a daily basis, out there lingering around, hanging out on cars. These are residents that grew up together. And you're talking about a safe environment. You can have no place safer than there, because everybody knows everybody. Nobody's going to come over there and do any type of criminal stuff. And some of the things that are being said, I think that is so unfair. When I think back to some of the things that were said 25, 30 years ago about Marina Village residents, it still makes me saddened to feel that people still feel this way. You know, it's about when you have people that feel that those that across the street are not law-abiding citizens, and us that are on the other side of the street that we are law-abiding citizens, because this is what it's saying. This is what you or anyone else is saying. You're looking out your windows and you're watching them every day. I mean, you're watching them from sun up to sundown. You are watching people to see what they do or to see how they do. Come on. You know, this is not back in the days. If you want to talk to people and say, hey, you don't even have to do that. You know, because on the side of the street that they talk about, they don't go on one other side of the street. They don't go into Seaside Village. They don't go over there doing anything, but you can rest assured that people from Seaside Village comes over on the other side of the street, whether it was to visit the store or whether it was to visit the liquor store, or whether when Marina was up to come over there and sit down on the porch and hang out with people over there in Marina. Just sit down there and talk. You know, so it's very sad to see that you're putting a picture out there that this is what people do on a regular, everyday basis. It doesn't go on in the winter time. It doesn't go on in the fall. You know, so I'm just asking the commissioners, whatever you do, just look at this, do it in a fair and in a just way.
I think that's going to be the case, and thank you for your comments, Denise.
Thank you,
Commissioner Roach. Commissioner Roach, if I know Commissioner Diaz has offered, and I will offer my service to join that. If we want to form a committee to just, you know, try to bring the communities together so that we can have a mutual understanding. I think that would be the first step to do that, so that they know that, you know, everyone is willing to work together to keep the area clean, safe. And, you know, a lot of times we talk about secure, right? We want to keep the public safe. And, you know, that's where I'm, you know, for 100% as well. You know, let's be proactive and not reactive. So if we can all come together and agree to, just go out there, even if we just walk the community.
If yourself and Commissioner Diaz are willing to get together and do that, please. I know the chief made his suggestions also as being part of it. If we can do that, and I will let Ms. Ramos have a word before we move on, though. She's been patient enough.
And to Mrs. Moya's point, where she says that that people from the outside are not welcome in. I grew up on the west side of Bridgeport. I got kicked out of Seaside Village every single time I walked in here as a kid. And now I'm here, and we don't stop people from coming in. It's not the people. I know the people that are hanging out there just as well as George and Denise knows them. And it's not them. It's the people that come from the outside that are making it bad, and then to make it even worse, they come across the street where there's no loitering cameras. They rip the signs down, they put their crates out, and they sit there all day, every day. And then you got the loud music and the cars coming by, the grills grilling, the food trucks. And if they went home by 9 o'clock, it wouldn't be a problem. Sometimes they're out there till 12 o'clock every day. It's not just holidays or when something's going on, you know. And I had a nephew that was shot 8 times out there. He got shot and they let him bleed to death. They just left him there like he was just a piece of garbage on the street. So I know what goes on out there.
I think we're probably talking.
It's not the people from the neighborhood.
We're talking about two different groups now. I understand that. Not just a question of a few of the old timers that congregate. There are other issues that appears on top of that, and I hope we could hopefully move forward on this and address all the concerns that have been brought up. from everybody this evening. And I'll count on Commissioner Williams and Commissioner Diaz to at least start a dialogue with some of the folks that may not be the ones that are being targeted as problems. But and Chief, if you can, if as you said, if you could follow up on that, and hopefully we can address this properly, but also fairly.
Yes, and please include Councilman Cruz and Councilwoman Denise Taylor Moore. We will be glad to join the commissioners and the residents from Seaside Village in this effort.
Okay, very good.
All right.
Commissioner Roach.
Yes.
In that neighborhood.
Sorry, I'm sorry, Chief
Commissioner
Porter.
Williams?
No, Chief Porter was speaking. I'm sorry.
No, I was just gonna say, just I wanted to reiterate that. So we have started focusing in on State Street and Aranistan throughout that corridor, and we will try to increase our patrols in that area.
Can I ask if Lieutenant Mines can gather everyone's information, and then maybe we can have a meeting to come together, a meeting of the minds to discuss how we can move forward with this process?
Yes, I will reach
maybe
out.
Lieutenant, and if you can work with Mr. Berlingeri, I think he can probably gather the information from his end.
Yep.
Absolutely. I'll reach out to you via email, get everyone's email address, and I apologize for spelling your name wrong on the agenda.
I appreciate everybody being on the call.
Yes, thank you all.
We usually don't have an open dialogue like this. I felt it was important to kind of go a little further than we usually do. Standard procedure, if somebody wants to address the board, they have 5 minutes to talk, and it doesn't necessarily turn into a broader discussion like this. But I thought this was helpful. So.
And we do have signed petitions from over 130 people in the community here. So, there's support here as well, obviously. So I look forward to getting, getting this down the path and getting a plan in place so we can monitor and get some progress on. Thank you very much.
And Mark, you can continue to keep in touch with me. You have my number.
Thank you, Commissioner.
All right. Okay. Thank you, folks. Thanks everybody from Seaside Village for being on the call. Thank you to our council people, and we appreciate everybody's input.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
You guys. Okay.
Blessed night.
Good night now. Thank you, Chief. Okay, next item on the agenda is a request from the awards committee to approve the following officers for their particular awards. I think I mentioned before, the commissioners were sent the information on each individual award. And if you have any questions, any of the specific awardees, feel free to bring that up. I mean, otherwise, we can move this forward and hopefully have a great ceremony for these fine officers on August 7th. Does anybody have any questions, anything in particular on the awards? Any of the council, any of the commissioners? Okay. With that, I would encourage a motion to combine all the items under 3B and approve those awards.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Are there any opposed? Okay, thank you for that. Old business, the request that was tabled from May 20th from the city traffic engineer, who recommended not to approve a handicap parking sign at 941 Cassuth Street. And my apologies, I don't have my notes in front of me on this particular item. Maybe, I'm sorry, Lieutenant, if you can kind of refresh my memory at least anyway.
The commissioners wanted me to check on whether or not he did have access to the driveway. according to the traffic engineer, he did not. So I did contact him. I did speak with him. He does say he has access to the driveway. It's just him and his wife both want to use it, and they're both elderly. So, but he does have access to the driveway.
Okay, so it's a question of they have two cars and they would both fit in the driveway, but as a matter of convenience, they would like a handicap sign. Any comments from the commissioners on this? Okay. Anybody care to make a motion?
I'll move to approve.
Motion to approve the city traffic engineer's request, which is not to approve the handicap sign. Is that correct, Commissioner Martinez?
That's correct.
Okay, is there a second? Is there a
Second.
It's been seconded by Commissioner Williams. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Are there any opposed? Okay. The city traffic engineer's request has been approved. We have nothing under correspondence this month or letters of appreciation, and no business with regards to widows' pensions. We do have 2 items from the city traffic engineer. One is a request to move a handicap parking sign at 328 Lenox Avenue. In this case, the applicant, the original applicant, is no longer living at that address, and we'll entertain that one first before we go to the second. Any issues on that particular item? Entertain a motion to approve the request of the city traffic engineer.
So moved.
It's been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Then we have a request of the city traffic engineer not to approve the installation of handicap parking sign on 55 Prince Street. And my apologies. I got to my office 10 minutes before the meeting, and I haven't had a chance to review this myself. Has any of the commissioners had a chance to take a look at this? And Lieutenant, would you be able to bring that up by any chance?
Yes, sir. Powell stated that they have availability of off-street parking by means of a parking stalls within the residential property.
Okay.
So I'm not sure though how far those stalls are or not to 55 Prince, but they do have personal spots.
Any questions or comments? Okay.
Could we table this until we get more information?
You can always make a motion to table. Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna make that motion.
There's a motion to
Second.
table on the floor, and it's been seconded, I believe.
Yes.
All those
Second
in
by Mike.
favor?
Aye.
Are there any
Aye.
opposed? Okay, motion's table. And unless we have anything else.
I just want to mention that my assistant filled in for Dolores and she's really shy and told me not to mention her. So she's over there doing it today. So Yulitza, you want to turn your camera on and just say hi?
I
Oh,
thought I
there you go.
recognized that
Okay.
name.
I thought you might have been one of the people from Seaside Village. There she is. I'm sorry. Hi, Yulitza. How are you again? Nice to see you
Hi.
again. All right.
That-
Thanks
that
for
is
all your help and your hard work.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alyssa.
Thank you.
All righty.
I know we tabled the Prince Street. But
Prince
if
Street?
if you look at it, it's like I want to say not a co-op, but it has the parking in the back or on the side.
Oh, okay.
So I think that's why it was
Denied. Or
denied.
they're requesting us to deny it.
Yeah, that's why they're requesting us to deny it, because the parking is literally, from what I looked at, some of them are in the back.
Okay.
So I think that's why. of their own their own unit.
So it appears
Yeah,
there'd be easy
yes.
access. Okay.
Correct, it's easy access. So,
Okay.
I mean, we can still, I mean, it's already been tabled, but,
Yeah.
and then maybe some may not have no, they all have parking in the area behind, I think
Okay.
they just want it in the front.
I see.
Yeah, they want it on the street, the street parking, right? Because their door is literally right there.
Yeah,
Um,
if that's the case, we'd probably be opening up a can of worms there, but
Exactly, because it
Yeah.
only looks like maybe less than 5 parking spaces in the back of it. And maybe that's the problem. But yeah, they're So
we
it's
could,
like, it looks like 2 units and then they have the parking in the back. And then there's like maybe 3 units of those 2. So
no, thanks for researching that a little bit. And my apologies, I usually try to do that before our meetings.
Yeah.
But right now, it's moved to be tabled,
That's fine.
which and then we'll address it at our next meeting and move from there, if that's okay. All right. Anything else, guys?
I'll drive by as well, sir, and make sure that's, especially for that particular unit, that it's close to them.
Okay, I appreciate that.
I'm actually around the corner, so I'm gonna stop.
Ryan,
there.
can I
You know
drive
what?
by?
There you go. Commissioner Martinez will put you in charge of it, okay?
Okay.
Go take a look when you get a break, which probably doesn't happen all that often, but
I wanted to do a ride along. Come on, Commissioner.
All righty. Unless there's anything else, would anybody care to make a motion to adjourn?
Oh, move.
Been moved by Commissioner Diaz. Is there a second?
Second.
Aye.
Seconded by several. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Nice.
Thank you, commissioners.
Take care.
Stay
Have a good night.
cool.
Thank you, guys.
Hydrated,
night.
everybody.
Thanks, Lieutenant. Thanks, Yulitza.
Mhm.
Bye, Alyssa.
Thanks, Julissa. Yeah.
Bye, Yulitza.
Bye.